This video right here I want to go over. This pretty much sums up why people have a disliking for Drake. And no, I wouldn't say a disliking, but why? Well, yeah, I would say a disliking and why he is who he is, right? I want to go over this real quick. And y'all know I love playing this video right here because this pretty much sums up Drake in a nutshell.
Listening to your music is like you're super successful, you're one of the best to ever do it, yet you still have this chip on your shoulder. I remember listening to Diplomatic Community, you know, you had
the chip on his shoulder, right?
Where you say you're black excellence, but it was come to you, it's not the same though. Like, why do you think that?
So once again, pay attention, right? So this is why Drake has been draking, right? So pay attention.
Gain that was never granted to them.
It's interesting because like listening to your music is like you're super successful, you're one of the best to ever do it, yet you still have this chip on your shoulder. I remember listening to Diplomatic Community, you know, you had the line where you say you're black excellence, but it was come to you, it's not the same though. Like, why do you think that still, like, I guess that dark cloud is over your head?
Well, I think I've been in a lot of rooms and in a lot of conversations and just felt the other side of judgment and, you know, racial judgment sometimes, like being light-skinned, you know, being Canadian, having people that I look up to and respect tell me that I can't identify with what's going on because, you know, granted, I'm also not the most outspoken person when it comes to political issues. I prefer to talk about it amongst my people, and if we're going to do something, I prefer to go and make the change or actually do something and not just like post about it so that people are like, oh wow, this guy's really conscious about what's going on. Like, you know, the work we put in the communities, you know, the way we give back is legit. It's on the ground. You know, it's not so you guys can all just like, you know, double tap and say, wow, oh my God, Drake's so like.
You said if you hold your tongue, you'll get crucified.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, sometimes you can feel that way, but now I just feel like the first reaction is to post about something, and then people often just forget to do anything about what they posted about. You know, but I think that there's definitely a sad thing that goes on in celebrity culture where people post things because they feel like they're obligated to. People post things because they know that it makes them look like they're actively invested in certain, but they're really not. You know, they're really actually not giving their money or building any opportunities for kids, building basketball courts, building schools, helping kids get through. You know, so yeah, I'm just one of those people. I just like to.
Fuck you looking at?
I like to really do it, you know, and especially, you know, with me and the elusive one, you know, we
Now, could he be sneak dissing Kendrick right here? Might be he might have been taking shots at Kendrick right here during this interview. Could he be? Could he be?
we you know, it's something that we really just do it from way back in the day, from Strawberry Mansion times, from, you know, we've always left our footprint in the community in a real way. Even back in Jamaica, you know, when I did shoot the video there, like we didn't just go shoot the video when I shot Find Your Love, we didn't just shoot the video and dip. You know, we built a place for people to come, we left our money there, you know, it was, so yeah, going back to your question though, I've just felt the other side of it, so that's kind of where that line came from. You know, I obviously understand the times that we're living in and how serious it is and how divided we all are across the world, you know, with this, you know, with the person that's currently in that position, and, you know, having that energy trickle on down. But that line is just me speaking to the other side of things, which is like, yo, sometimes, like, you know, some of like my blackest friends can be just as cruel on the other end.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's so touching. Cause I thought you was black. I never heard a black person say my blackest friends. Oh. Maybe that's why they don't acknowledge you as a black person, because you don't acknowledge yourself as a black person. I've never said some of my blackest friends. I've never said that. Only people that say that are non-black. So how do you expect people to identify you as black when you don't identify yourself as black? Because black people don't talk like that. Oh, I get it.
You know, by making you feel excluded, or making you feel like you can't get in on this. And sometimes I do feel like, I obviously understand the times that we're living in and how serious it is and how divided we all are across the world, you know, with this, you know, with the person that's currently in that position, and, you know, having that energy trickle on down. But that line is just me speaking to the other side of things, which is like, yo, sometimes, like, you know, some of like my blackest friends can be just as cruel on the other end. You know, by making you feel excluded, or making you feel like you can't get in on this. And sometimes I do feel like if sometimes I don't feel celebrated when I know maybe somebody else would be celebrated for those accomplishments. I don't feel like people say when Drake is the artist of the decade, I don't think anybody says, wow, a black artist is the artist of the decade. I don't think anybody says that, really. I never heard anybody say that in the last few weeks. And I associate I associate myself as a black man. So for me, it's sometimes it's something that I just acknowledge and I just keep it moving. But like I said, I feel like if the situation was different, I feel like maybe some of the massive accomplishments and accolades that we've conquered on behalf of all of us, not just me. It's not like it's just for all of us, right? Just like how excited I am when anybody else in our space does something great. Of course, there's a part of me that wishes that I was celebrated a little more. But who wants to listen to me cry about being celebrated?
I think that's the root of his problem right there. That's the root of his problem. But listen, Drake. I don't care what nobody say. You're still a black man. I got mixed people in my family. There's nothing wrong with being mixed. There's a lot of people that are mixed. Me personally, I'm not caught up in that. Me personally, but y'all can feel how y'all. I'm not caught up in him being mixed or whatever because I got mixed people in my family. So I don't feel no type of way about that. I'm just it's just interesting that you say that. You just threw me for a loop when you said my blackest friends. I've never heard a black person say that. I've never heard that before. Only white people, Mexican people, Chinese people, anybody that's non-black say that. I've never heard anyone that I'm associated with say, man, my blackest friends. Normally people say that when they're not black. So, I just find it interesting. But hey, Drake, I think you're a black man. But I think that's the root of, why you do the things that you do. And this is another video that kind of elaborates, why Drake is who he is today. Shout out to Nessa. Hey, girl, where you been?
Time that he has.
Shout out to this live stream right here. This video right here, Hip Hop Madness. Y'all go check him out. All right, this is the video. The addiction that destroyed Drake's career. Let's see what happened. What's up, Nessa? You all right?
Really internalized all that, and that I think that people have been making fun of him for such a long time that he has really internalized all that, and that dictates the way he probably moves behind the scenes. I'm your girl and your girl and your girl because you treat me like this. You think I wasn't cool enough. He's been holding a lot close to the chest.
A lot of in the industry do not try to everybody. That is not true. You introduce them to your girl, extra friendly, smiling.
And he do that
exchanging numbers
19, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 times. And it ain't just rappers, the athletes, the actors, the golfers, the executives, the tech people.
What is the real issue with you in marriage? Now I got to dig in and see, what's your family like? Oh, your dad left you at 5. Oh, I get that. And he never walked you to the bus stop. You're mad about this.
Since the beginning of his career.
Damn. So do you think all of this is just him getting revenge? That's why he is who he is? Possibly.
Drake's relationship with women has always been at the forefront of his music. Whether his songs were about going through a breakup, occasionally depicting himself as sensitive, or outright portraying himself as a simp, Drake seemed to genuinely admire women. But over time, things drastically changed until the point he morphed into the self-proclaimed certified lover boy. From venting his feelings of loneliness to an ex on Marvin's Room, through to accusations of rampant misogyny on the 21 Savage assisted Her Loss, even Drizzy's claim that the only woman he loves is his mom on God's Plan was a drastic departure from when he was actively trying to settle down. But where the good guy image was once intact and helped skyrocket his career to the top, that's long gone now and replaced with the perception that, as Kendrick said, Drizzy doesn't even like women. In fact, he only values them when it comes to sexual gratification and as a way to have a one-up on his enemies and friends. In short, there's now a belief that Drake has a serious sex addiction, which has basically created the predicament he finds himself in today.
He presents himself as like this smart, composed, thoughtful businessman, but you're your friends' girls. You're not.
That's a very known thing. And Drake wonder why like people don't have his back because it seems like he been fucking all his homeboys' people, including Lil Wayne. Now, if you smash your boss girl, why they in jail? God damn. Like, come on, bro. So it just seems like this is his revenge. Now he's in the position that he's in. He's like kind of getting his lick back from probably being teased as a kid and, probably not being accepted. So this is, him sticking it to him because it's a lot of people say that he has a problem with, smashing people girls, smashing not just random people, like people that he's cool with, including Lil Wayne.
Them for them, by the way. There's tons of bad. You're not just doing it to get a nut. You're your man. That's what you're doing. It sounds crazy, but that's what it's about. I'm going to do something that I know that I'm going to have over you.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Currently operating in a state that may fill a void inside him while deviating from the image that first made him successful, Drake has made it clear that he's not a one-woman man at this point in his life, nor does he plan to change that. And while that makes him no different from many other superstars, the problem for the Six God is that there's a feeling of spite and self-sabotage to how he goes about it that has nearly destroyed his career several times over. So, let's break down the roots of this addiction and how it's been hiding in plain sight for a long time now. When you pattern yourself as a ladies' man, it's really no surprise that you might ruffle some feathers or act impulsively when things don't go your way. Just look at what happened in the aftermath of Drake flying a fresh-faced Ice Spice out to OVO Fest, only to suddenly cut ties with her when it appeared he didn't get what he wanted out of it.
It's been speculated that Drake unfollowed you afterwards. Do you want to tell us some tea on that?
He did. I don't know why though.
Shame on you, Drake. Shame on you. You shouldn't have done that.
Happy to go someone in an instant, Drake's objectives with up-and-comers like Ice come into focus when you see how much he prides himself on being a bachelor. So when he doesn't get his way, his superstardom allows him to move in a way without any consequences. And this behavior was further highlighted in an interview with Angie Martinez, where French Montana basically lifted the lid on how Drake operates.
Yes. There's people with more reputation than me.
Drake is close. So you and Drake are friends.
Splash Bros. Snipe Squad. You know he gave me the Snipe Squad thing. 10 rules, 10 snipe commandments. Thou shalt not snipe a bro's ting. Thou shalt never pillow talk or discuss business with a ting. On any import.
Pillow talk. Didn't Kendrick talk about that in his rhyme? Pillow talking niggas.
From the United States, Canada, or any other region, thou shalt practice a maximum 3-day export rule to avoid frustration. If you fly anybody in, give them 3 days so you can avoid frustration. 3 days maximum.
With Drake basically retaining the mindset of a man in his 20s, it explains why Drizzy also doesn't care whose toes he steps on, including sniping someone else's team. Take, for instance, the story of Naomi Sharon. Unlike Ice Spice, it's believed that she welcomed Drake's advances despite being in an 8-year relationship. To make matters worse, Drake had worked out with her then-boyfriend just days before, only to later post an IG picture after the story broke captioned, "Without remorse." Dirty. Imagine having the most beautiful, supportive, and faithful relationship 8 years long with an engagement and wedding plan, her former fiancé, Jamie Sun, said. Then this major opportunity comes and a world star calls your fiancé to sign a record deal, flies you both over, and then, out of nowhere, all the trust has vanished with knives in your back and in your heart. I am no longer with the person people think I'm together with. I'm no longer with the 8 years I thought I was together with. With someone like Jamie.
Damn, 8 years gone, just like that. Allegedly.
Participating in the music industry at a lower level, Drake clearly had no concerns when it came to trampling over his life to get what he wanted. But even though he got away with just a bit of reputational damage that time, recently, it's become clear that Drake's promise to French Montana about never getting involved with someone else's girl was just talk. Because when you look back, Drake has a habit of bringing women into almost all of his beefs with other rappers. And in the view of one of his biggest supporters and academics, this is where Drake has been a habitual line crosser.
I keep asking people and they're like, yo, listen, man, Drake's a little sloppy with it. All these guys, they share the same crop of girls. It's a thin line between like, yo, these are like the community chicks that we all and yo, you're doing certain to kind of like disrespect.
In Act's view, this has always been a key part of how Drake has operated, long before it led Future to call him a fan on We Don't Trust You. Case in point, just look at why his decade-long feud was...
Even academics called him out on it. So I wonder if that's one of the secrets that academics got. Because, you know, he said that he keeps 5 secrets on everybody, just in case they get out of line. Remember he said that.
With CB started.
Imagine how bold Drake was when Drake sends a bottle over there with a note that says, I'm the love of your life. That was supposedly the note. And right then, beef starts. So Drake is in the club, supposedly with Meek and some other people, and Chris Brown is there, and Drake sends a thing over to be like, I'm the love of your life.
Drake is a savage.
Yeah, you gotta keep the girl away from Drake.
Back when Drake and Chris had some bad blood over Rihanna, the whole thing likely made things awkward at parties, but didn't really spill out onto record or really even enter the public consciousness at the time. But that hasn't always been the case. And much like his dispute over Princess Diana with Future, it was his decision to mess with other people's girls that led his ghostwriting scandal with Quentin Miller to come to light in the first place, in turn creating a narrative that's haunted him ever since.
That's how the whole thing started with even the reference tracks. DJ Drama says, bro, he didn't write that. The guy in my studio in Atlanta, he recorded it and Drake just sang it over. That's how that starts. So 2 guys who thought Drake their chicks basically created that moment.
But while all of...
God damn. So allegedly, if Drake didn't smash people girls, we wouldn't even know about his ghostwriting. The only reason why people spoke on it, because allegedly, he's smashing their girls. Allegedly.
These incidents could have been damaging to his career. If you need to look at how far Drake will push it when it comes to women, look no further than him betraying his very own mentor when he was at his lowest. A story that was brought to light in a bar by Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. The allegations that Drake found Wayne's girl when he was in jail have actually been around for a while. And to Weezy's credit, he's done his best to shoot Drake some bail.
Oh, I wasn't worried about that. That's just how life goes when you locked up. She still be texting me and stuff, you know?
However, this is only one side of the real story that never gets reported, because as Weezy disclosed in his autobiography, this actually took a real toll on him. As a man, he wrote, I woke up still feeling messed up about the f***ed up day that I had. Hell is what it was. I'm used to arguing with my girl on a daily basis, but finding out that she'd mess with Drake was the absolute worst thing I could have found out. Seemingly
Damn. Come on, man. What type? That's insane, bro. For him to do that to Wayne, the person that gave you a shot, the person that put you in the position, especially at his peak. This was Wayne when he was Lil Wayne. This was Carter 1, Carter 2, Carter 3 Lil Wayne. And he shared that moment with your motherfucking ass, and you go and smash his girl while he's in jail.
Happy to backstab one of the people who had done the most for his career. Exactly. This would point to the sheer depths of Drake's issues when it comes to his addiction. But as for how Drake's addiction manifested in the first place, there's a couple of theories, but both boil down to the same thing. It's his way of getting back at the tough times in his youth, or proving everyone wrong who doubted that a suburban Jewish kid from Toronto could make it big in hip-hop. And during an in-depth conversation on the Joe Budden podcast, they weighed in on how people's perceptions of him influenced his tendency to forget his loyalties and go after women who should be off limits.
Let's have a real conversation about how talk about Drake behind the scenes and how people in the industry talk about Drake and how they view him. View Drake like he's a corny who grew up not getting no and now he got money and now he's able to afford that, right?
Left with a deficit he's now trying to make up for, this explains some of the recklessness in how Drake pursues women. Because for him, it's personal and a way to further assert his place at the top.
Bottom line is, most of these in the industry that have grown up a certain way don't like that this moves in a fashion move because they never had a respect for him.
You just said that a lot of in the industry do that. A lot of in the industry do not try to everybody. That is not true. You introduce them to your girl, extra friendly, smiling.
And he do that
exchanging numbers
19, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 times. And it ain't just rappers, the athletes, the actors, the golfers, the executives, the tech people.
The difference is you might be more comfortable being way more vocal about that you never respected than the other.
While Joe Budden thinks that this is all about how he's been treated in the game and is now trying to get back, others feel it goes deeper than just rap. According to Nadeska and Ebro, it goes back to how he's been treated by the world as a whole, not just the industry. Because when the world has looked down on him or made him a figure of sad boy memes, being the guy who could steal your girl in a moment's notice is his way of proving himself as the star he always saw himself as.
I think that people have been making fun of him for such a long time that he has really internalized all that. And that dictates the way he probably moves behind the scenes. I'm your girl, and your girl, and your girl, because you treated me like this. You think I wasn't cool enough. He's been holding a lot close to the chest.
Due to social media and people listing all of the people, it was like a list of 40 people that Drake either has problems or has had problems with. Right. The women, the men, the women have decided to be with. At a certain point, you start going, wait, it can't be everybody else, bro.
But above all, it's not just Drake's obvious over-reliance on sex that's the issue, nor even his ruthless backstabbing of his enemies. The real problem is how his behavior and personal circumstances have shaped a negative attitude towards women that threatens to be his downfall. Because from Pusha T to Kendrick Lamar, every time that he's been forced to take an L in a battle is when he comes at someone's spouse or fiance. And in Push's view, this goes all the way back to the trials and tribulations of his youth.
Now I gotta dig deeper. What is the real issue with you in marriage? Now I gotta dig in and see, what's your family like? Oh, your dad left you at 5. Oh, I get that. And he never walked you to the bus stop. You're mad about this.
Left without a strong role model and instead given a father who's still chasing girls himself to this day in a
like father, like son, huh? Like father, like son. This was back in 2019. This is when, and then she made a video talking about her experience with Dennis. Like father, like son, huh?
Slightly creepy way, it explains why Drake thinks nothing of getting involved with someone else's girl, nor discrediting someone else's wife. While for someone like Pusha, Kendrick, or even A$AP Rocky, who adopted the Drizzy beef after lines about his wife from For All the Dogs, this wouldn't be an option. In turn, creating the sense that Drake may have plenty of relationships with women, but doesn't ultimately respect them. Left in.
So, this is why everybody probably hates Drake. Drake. Gotta chill, bro. Gotta chill, man. That's not the way, man. That's not the way, okay? It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. Moving on.
It's a whole